national chairman visited Edo State to try to somewhat circumvent that problem and bring peace. Why should Governor Wike be most interested in Edo State elections? I mean, they have their party leadership. Why can't he let them deal with Edo State problems and face River State?
If you remember what happened in Obasanjo's election, you will know that Wike had 3 days sleepless night. Wike was barely living in Edo.
But that's done.
Again, I'm coming again. You will agree with me that Obasanjo came to River State to say that outside God in heaven, the next person that gave him this opportunity is Governor Wike. And if there are issues that are cropping up, he owed it as a duty or as a responsibility to call his friend to order, to say, could we just please put our hearts together? Why do we need to, chase away part of people, especially people that has already been in existence? If PDP was not built by those in Edo State, which house was he going to run to? So Governor Wike is now a visitor in Edo State, but during the electionary campaign and when they were looking for where to be sheltered, Governor Wike was not a visitor. My simple argument here is that what we are saying is that make sure you carry everybody along. There is already existing structure. Congresses are being held from the ward level, state, local government level to state level. As a party chair, as a governor of the state, I wonder who is the state party chairman that cannot come to you? Who is the state LJ party chairman that cannot come to you? So the reason is because you already have a mindset. And for us, nobody will come to destroy PDP. So that tomorrow you go live, because governance is about social contract. Now, in social contract, you need to make promises to your people. Can you keep to them? So how will they look at us? That you can make a promise to the people. As soon as you ascend the truth, then you change. That is the question we want to correct in the
Okay. All right. Let me come to you, Demola. It's interesting because the PDP seems to be having its own fair share of crisis even at the national level. But let's start with Osun State. We saw recently a parallel primary that held within the state. 2 governorship candidates emerged, allegedly trying to exclude his supporters from key party positions. So let's stay within the Southwest. We're done talking about the South-South. The PDP seems to be fighting on all fronts here, and I'm wondering why.
Well, I mean, because it's politics. What you describe as crisis, for some of us, it's mainly, the art of politicking. Everybody has interest in politics. Politics is it's not a family affair, especially when you have a political party as big as the People's Democratic Party. You have people with different tendencies. You have people with different orientations. You have people with different kinds of approaches to issues. And so what is going on for me is a sign of a vibrant political party, is a sign that, everyone wants to be involved. Everyone everyone feels that they are most qualified for positions. But at the end of the day, what matters is that we all play by the rules and we all stay within the rules. What happened in Lagos State is not something that many of us are happy about. And but we are laying our complaints, through the proper channels to our grievances. We are bringing it to the appeal panel. We brought it to the appeal panel. We are bringing it to the NWC. We are taking it all the way to NEC. And we are trying to explain that, look, this thing cannot stand the way it stands. It shouldn't come out that way. So that is being handled. But, generally in politics is an engagement of conflicts. Someone is coming from one direction, the other person is coming from the other direction. You would have conflicts, you would have clash of interest, and that's very normal. What is not normal, like I said, is when you do not play by the rules or when you go beyond the rules. An example is what is happening in Osun State, for instance. You had a primaries, you had a congress that was, the venue was duly certified by the NWC. INEC was informed, INEC was invited, security forces were informed, they were invited, the entire electoral panel went to that congress, and a winner emerged in person of Senator Ademola Adeleke. Now you had another group of people who did not participate in that congress, went somewhere else to another venue, and claimed, that they have also produced their own gubernatorial aspirants and are now trying to use the courts of law, to win the ticket by backdoor method. Of course, that's clearly not acceptable. That's not within the rules. The party rules are clear. You contest. If you contest, you make your grievances known to the appeal panel. The appeal panel on that particular congress was chaired by the national chairman of the party, the Senator Dr. Iyocha. He chaired the appeal panel. Dr. Babayemi did not bring his complaints, but he's trying to use the courts. And we have to say to the courts that, look, don't allow yourself to be used in this particular instance in Osun State. The entire party structure is behind Senator Adema Adeleke, and we wish him well. So what we term crisis basically, for us in the PDP, is a sign of a healthy political party. It's a sign of a party coming alive, to some of us who support him or who are with him. Is actually, we feel quite aggrieved about it. But again, it's politics, it's an engagement of conflict, and we will play the game by the rules of the game.
When you talk about the fact that it's just politics, I'm trying to understand which part of it is supposed to be taken while sitting down, because Chief Bode George here is alleging that Avoji cannot win Lagos State for the PDP. He's even alleging that he might be a mole from the APC trying to crash the PDP within the state.
Well, I mean, again, these are issues that we are working hard towards resolving.
Do you think Avoji is a mole from the APC?
Well, I personally don't have I haven't had much interaction with him over the years, so I cannot comment much about that. But I do know that Chief Bode George is somebody who believes strongly in this political party, and those of us who are his followers, we also believe strongly in this political party. And so, if there are things that he has seen, then we have to we agree with those things that because he is higher up, he sees a lot of things. He has been part of the Lagos establishment for much longer, even before some of us came into politics. And so, if he says something it is. Then it is up to the other side to come out and clarify their positions by proving their loyalty to the People's Democratic Party. But as it stands today, the Lagos State Congress, what happened on that day was it was all a mess. Basically it was all a mess, and what we are trying to sort.
Happened at the National. In fact, there was an abrupt rescheduling of proceedings because, according to reports, this uproar was triggered by some leaders in the South that had asked that those who defected from the APC into the party should not be given opportunities to pick up tickets.
I'll try to play that to my advantage and say that, zone it to the South. If I'm from the Southwest, which I am, I will try to play it to my advantage by saying, give it to the Southwest, just so that I can emerge. I'll try to make sure that, everything works in my favor, that the rules of the game are bent in my favor. But, of course, at the end of the day, what we do know is that the People's Democratic Party is a totally democratic party. It is a party that believes strongly in Nigeria, and it is a party that will provide a level playing ground for all the aspirants to come out and contest. So I personally do not align with the idea of zoning, and the reason is simple. The PDP, as a political party, practiced zoning all the while it was in power, but PDP is no longer in power now, and zoning is a construct of power. You don't zone what you do not have. If you do not have power, you cannot be thinking of zoning it. So for me, it attempts to tie your hand twice. The first one is that you are not in control of power. You are not in control of the federal forces. You are not in control of security, which are the very important, crucial aspects of electioneering in Nigeria. And then secondly, you want to tie yourself by zoning also. I think, that will amount to PDP shooting itself in the foot. And of course, indications are that PDP is going to throw a level playing ground to everybody. But again, like I said, what is going on is that people are trying to zone things in their favor so that they might be the ones who will be the beneficiaries of it. In politics, you try to bend the rules as much as possible so that, you gain an edge over your opponent. So that everything plays in your favor, basically. So that's what's going on in the People's Democratic Party. But like I said, it's a sign of a healthy and viral political party. It's a sign of a party that is coming more alive as 2023 comes close. And I'm very confident that what matters at the end of the day is that the party gets it right in terms of aligning with the wishes and aspirations of the majority of Nigerians. It's very clear that Nigerians are tired of the All Progressive Congress. Nigerians are tired of the Meshul of the past 8 years by 2023. Nigerians are tired of it. And so the onus is on the People's Democratic Party to produce a candidate that will be able to work in line with the desires of Nigerians.
Back to you, Darlington, and just to pick up from where he has just stopped. Does the PDP have what it takes right now? Because, like I said, you're fighting on all fronts. Yochayu is trying to douse tension almost everywhere he turns, and now the meeting of the NEC was abruptly cancelled and rescheduled because of the uproar between within the people in the South. And then let's quickly look at the former vice president here. He's spoken on the fact that losing the 2023 presidential election may end the PDP's reign ever in Nigeria. Again, he was also quoted to say that he's likely to get the ticket because he's never not been given the ticket to run for the PDP. Is Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, the one to be able to win that presidential elections for the PDP come 2023?
First of all, Nigerians need to congratulate the PDP as a political party, a party that is not in power in the last about 7 years now. Yet, problems that will erupt in the party are quickly handled, other than the All Progressive Congress, the proper definition of politics, and that understand at all time, especially during transition period like this, that there are a lot of issues that will crop up and needs to be handled. For instance, there was a crack yesterday, I agreed with you, but very quickly, we need to fix our acts, and the next meeting is on. I'm aware that we are also aware that the next meeting is going on. Other than the other political parties, it would have taken them ages for them to come together. Again, I agree with the fact that the people of Nigerians are tired of this failed All Progressive Congress that made all promises to Nigerian people, yet they could not keep to one. I agree that these are combination of people, aggrieved people or Nigerians that had only one soul.
Himself as one who will be able to clinch that ticket for the presidential elections come 2023.
Of course, the answer is no from my part. You know, when a man speaks